Following the end of the First World War, millions of Indians expected a shift in how they were governed. After making massive contributions of manpower and resources to the British war effort, the public anticipated greater self-governance as a reward for their loyalty. Instead of offering political freedom, the British government delivered a harsh betrayal in March 1919. They passed the Rowlatt Act, a piece of legislation designed to extend wartime emergency powers to actively suppress political dissent and agitation. The law allowed colonial authorities to imprison suspects without trial. Public outrage quickly crystallized into a single stark slogan: no dalil, no vakil, no appeal. No argument, no lawyer, no appeal. This legislation broke the unwritten contract of the empire. Years of cooperative goodwill evaporated overnight, replaced by a bitter disillusionment with the British Crown. In response to the legislation, Mahatma Gandhi proposed a direct counter-strategy. He called on Indians to take a satyagraha pledge, a commitment to non-violent resistance aimed specifically at defying the Rowlatt Act. The movement gained massive traction immediately. The call for a general strike swept across the subcontinent as millions of Indians halted commerce to participate in unified, peaceful protests. In the city of Amritsar, these widespread strikes triggered an aggressive response. Colonial authorities abruptly arrested two highly respected local leaders, Dr. Saifuddin Kichlu and Dr. Satyapal. News of their arrests on April 10th sparked immediate chaos. Crowds clashed with security forces, and riots erupted through the streets, resulting in the deaths of both Indian civilians and Europeans. Panicking, the colonial administration enforced martial law and banned all public gatherings. The British authorities were haunted by the memory of the 1857 Indian Rebellion. This fear clouded their judgment, creating a volatile atmosphere where any assembly of Indians was viewed as an active, existential threat to the empire. 3 days later, on April 13th, the city was celebrating Baisakhi, a major religious festival. Thousands of out-of-town pilgrims flowed into Amritsar, completely unaware of the recent martial law bans. Up to 20,000 unarmed men, women, and children congregated inside a public space known as Jallianwala Bagh. They had gathered to listen to political speeches, celebrate the holiday, and rest. Jallianwala Bagh was an uneven wasteland, enclosed by 10-foot-high walls. It offered only a single narrow alleyway for both entry and exit. That afternoon, Brigadier General Reginald Dyer marched onto the site, commanding a force of heavily armed Gorkha and Sikh infantrymen. The alleyway was too tight for Dyer's armored cars, forcing him to leave his machine guns outside. Instead, he made a calculated tactical decision, deploying his riflemen to completely seal the only way out. By utilizing the high walls and blocking the sole exit, Dyer deliberately weaponized the physical geography of the bog, turning a public gathering space into an inescapable kill zone. Dyer issued no warning. He did not order the crowd to disperse. He simply commanded his men to open fire. The quiet of the afternoon was suddenly shattered by volley after volley of gunfire tearing into the unarmed civilians. For 10 agonizing minutes, the soldiers fired 1,650 rounds. Dyer explicitly directed his troops to target the thickest, most congested sections of the fleeing crowd. Absolute panic took hold. Desperate victims attempted to scale the unscalable walls. Many threw themselves into a deep, open well inside the compound, just to escape the relentless hail of bullets. The human cost was staggering. Official British estimates claimed 379 dead, while Indian records indicated over 1,000 lives lost, with another 1,500 severely injured. Dyer then marched his troops away, refusing to allow any medical aid for the wounded. Those 10 minutes of calculated brutality permanently stripped away the illusion that the British Empire was a just or civilizing force in India. In the immediate aftermath, the colonial administration doubled down on its authority. They imposed strict curfews, authorized the torture of suspects, and instituted the degrading crawling order, which forced Indian civilians to crawl on their bellies down a public street. The British government eventually established the Hunter Commission to investigate the massacre. The inquiry exposed a deeply polarized reaction within Britain itself. several prominent politicians issued sharp condemnations. Secretary of State Edwin Montagu labeled the incident preventative murder, while Winston Churchill condemned Dyer's actions as monstrous. But in stark contrast, large segments of the British public and the military establishment hailed Dyer as a savior who had prevented a second revolution. They even raised a massive financial reward for him upon his return to England. To the Indian public, this divided reaction revealed a stark reality. The value of an Indian life was negligible in the eyes of the empire, and true justice would never be granted by a system that rewarded the man responsible for the massacre. In the months following the massacre, the remaining loyalty to the British crown vanished. Outrage took its place, spanning religious and regional lines that had previously defined Indian politics. High-profile figures publicly severed their ties with the empire. Nobel laureate Rabindranath Tagore renounced his British knighthood in direct protest of the massacre. Mahatma Gandhi returned his Kaiser-e-Hind medals. The shared national grief created a political unity between Hindus and Muslims that the colonial administration had spent decades trying to prevent. This unified rage directly sparked the massive non-cooperation movement in 1920. The strategy shifted away from asking for minor legislative concessions, evolving into a hardline demand for total self-rule. Today, a flame-shaped red sandstone memorial pylon stands at Jallianwala Bagh, ensuring the physical space serves as a permanent reminder of the cost of freedom. The massacre at the Bagh united a divided subcontinent against a single enemy. While the British Raj would remain in power for 28 more years, the events of April 13th ensured that the struggle for total independence would only end with a full British withdrawal.